Now with more reaction, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Mr. Mayor, the president insisting still to take in Syrian refugees, but yet the director of national intelligence, James Clapper, said we cannot put it past ISIS to infiltrate the refugee community. The State Department spokesman John Kirby said it's possible that ISIS and al-Qaeda will infiltrate the refugee community. Back in February, FBI Assistant Director for the FBI, Michael Steinbach, said the same thing. Back in April, Homeland Security Committee Chairman Mike McCall said the same thing. The president's is he going to gamble with the lives of Americans and defy what his own intelligence people are saying?
Well, Sean, this has been a very difficult weekend for me because it brings back September 11 and all the terrible memories I have of it. And the thought then when President Bush, acted so decisively and so quickly, maybe something like this wouldn't happen again. And the reality is, this did not have to happen if our policies were different. If President Obama had listened to Senator McCain and Senator Graham and a whole group of other people and had set up a no-fly zone in Syria 5 years ago, if we had gone in and we had worked with the Syrian legitimate rebels, if we had not taken our troops out of Iraq and Afghanistan, ISIS never would have emerged. ISIS is filling a vacuum created by a vacuous foreign policy. ISIS is an Obama creation. This would not have happened. Just follow me for a second. If we had 50 or 60,000 troops in Iraq, we would have been getting the intelligence that would have told us about the development of ISIS, and that would have been given to the CIA. Once you take your troops out, we have no resources. We have no real access. CIA is very small. The Army's very big. And when we had our Army there, why weren't we getting attacked? Because we were getting a tremendous amount of information.
So we also would not have lost Ramadi and Fallujah and Mosul and Tikrit.
As General Petraeus has pointed out. Yeah. We won it and we gave it back, and now it's being controlled by people who want to come here and kill us. And here's the simple fact, and this goes back to President Bush. Some American president has to hold a speech at night and say to the American people, we have to be in the Middle East until the threat against us is over, just the way we were in Germany, just the way we were in Italy, just the way we are now in South Korea.
Here's what I want to ask, and this is a harder question. The president referred to this group as the JV team. He said hours before this attack, ISIS is contained. He will never say radical Islam. They said man-caused disasters, overseas contingency operation. Fort Hood officially, according to Barack Obama, is workplace violence. And my question is, how can he be wrong so often on something so serious, and now his own intelligence people say don't bring in these refugees, and he's insisting on bringing them here?
Well, that's the very, very point, Sean. I mean, the reality is those reporters were frustrated because the president has displayed over and over again he doesn't understand ISIS. If the day before he said they were contained, and the next day they attacked Paris, there's obviously a man who doesn't understand ISIS. He's not getting good intelligence. He's getting very bad intelligence. If he's getting bad intelligence about ISIS, he's going to get bad intelligence about these refugees. Also, where are we going to get the information about the refugees? We have nobody there to give us the information.
I want to ask you, the FBI says that there are 1,000 active ISIS probes going on in the U.S. now, and the president keeps going out, rather than saying the words radical Islamic terrorism, which he is incapable of saying, this is what he says constantly about Islam, and I want to ask you about it.
The United States is not and will never be at war with Islam.
And I'm also proud to carry with me the goodwill of the American people and a greeting of peace from Muslim communities in my country. Assalamu alaikum. Islam is not part of the problem in combating violent extremism. It is an important part of promoting peace. Our enemies respect no religious freedom. Al-Qaeda's cause is not Islam. It's a gross distortion of Islam.
He's now going to take in Syrian refugees. Is he gambling with the lives of Americans?
He is. Taking in Syrian refugees without the intelligence base on which to do any kind of an analysis of who they are, what they are, or where they came from. Where's that going to come from? We don't have CIA agents, or many of them at least, in Syria. We don't have soldiers in Syria.
And wouldn't they be
we don't
trained?
Know the background
wouldn't they be trained to lie to us?
Of course they would
I
be.
mean, this is not complicated. Are you a member of ISIS? No.
Also,
No.
his knowledge of theology is wanting. He apparently didn't read the entire Quran and Hadith. Muhammad was a warrior who...
Among other things.
So what you have to do is you've got to interpret out that part of Muhammad that went and killed 4,000, 5,000 Jews in Quraysh and Yadith and buried them in a mass grave. You've got to read out the invocation toward the end of his life that to be a good Muslim and to follow the life of the Prophet, you have to get someone to convert, kill him, or have him pay tribute. Those are all also part of the religion.
This is ISIS.
That has to be read out of the religion.
Isn't that the mantra now? Convert or die.
Well, this is an Islamic-based radicalism. It is not Buddhist-based. It's not Hindu-based. It's not Christian-based. And it is based
You're saying
on
the Islamic State is Islamic, basically, which he refuses.
It's based on words in the Quran that come from Muhammad and in the Hadith, which have to be read out. They have to be read out as good Muslims do. They read it out and get rid of it.
9/11 Commission report, Mr. Mayor. You know, you remember this as well as anybody.
Of course, I testified.
Okay, and what did it say? They are at war with us.
Yes, and
we're not at war with them.
That's totally ridiculous. Which how many times on your show have I said over the last 6 years, it's totally irrelevant whether he thinks we're at war with them. They're at war with us. And apparently the socialist president of France realizes we're at war with them, and our American president can't get it.
How big an impact on this election?
I think it should have an amazing impact on this election because what happened in Paris can happen in any American city or any Western European city. And you and I have been predicting this for 5 years.
I pray we're wrong. I am so wrong.
Well,
I have to come and apologize.
Now we know we're not wrong.
We're not wrong.
And I wish we were wrong.
I wish we were. Mr. Mayor, good to see you.
And God bless those poor people.
I agree. Coming up next.